Hello YouTube, bringing you another video of everyday shenanigans and situations. Okay, most of you may have heard that Jeffrey Epstein took his own life in jail, and justice wasn't served, of course, because he killed himself. And I just want to make a short video, if possible, discussing this sick obsession with young girls. I don't know what the hell is going on out here in America with these grown men wanting young girls. I read an article, I guess it was yesterday or the day before, when he died, about his life and the charges against him. The plea deal he took several years ago, which got him to be a sex offender. And I'm baffled at how he got the young girls. If they were, 14 years of age, how did he get them in the first place? 18 and older, okay, I can see, they see him out, woo woo. He solicit them either through a escort service or out at a bar or whatever. But let's speak of the 14-year range. How in God's name was he getting children of that age to do anything with? And there was some allegation that he messed with some lady's daughter or stepdaughter or something, and that's what got the ball rolling with the charge that he currently had before, killing himself, which brought this old stuff back into play with recent charges. Why are you messing with these people's children? What is it about a child that turns you on? I don't get it. It's just like this R. Kelly bullshit. You all are grown-ass men. All these beautiful women out here, 18 and over, who would be willing to bed you whatever, and you just choose not to even look in the direction of a grown woman. And I find it baffling. And I always thought to myself that when a man desires children, girls in particular, that's a man who didn't have a childhood. That's a man who had some type of messed up upbringing to where he wasn't able to be a child, wasn't afforded the luxury of being a child, felt like he missed out on being a young person, teenager, or whatever, and his mind is still of a child. Because why in the hell would you want a 14-year-old, 15-year-old girl? For what? And your ass is 50, 60 years old. Hell, even 30. You know better. And I'm just sick of these stories. I am sick of these stories of these grown-ass men chasing little girls around. And I don't get it. And the fact that he took a plea deal is a bunch of bull. Even though he ended up being on the register, as a offender. But still, let me get this right, because I read this. This fool allegedly did 13 months of jail time, but only went to jail one day out of the week. Yeah, you're hearing me. 6 days out of the week, the state let him go do his work because he's a prominent financier. And on the 7th day, he was allowed to go sit in a jail cell and do his time. So, 7 days out of the week, he gets 1 day out of the week to go sit in jail until his jail time is finished. Now, you put that on paper. What the hell kind of bullshit is that? That you're going to let this man who pleaded guilty to some lesser charge of solicitation of a minor, and you let him do 1 day a week of jail time until the sentence is complete, and you all think that's justice? You think that's okay? He still got to roam the street for 6 damn days to continue the same behavior. Now he gets arrested in the month of July of this year. He sits in there 1 month and a few days, and he kills himself. And I think he was guilty because 1 month in, and you've already taken your life. Why? Why you didn't see it all the way out? Because they said documents were released the other day or whatever. And so I think that once those documents were released and whatever information was inside, currently, whatever, he decided, hey, it ain't even worth the battle. It ain't even worth taking the ride. Because I already know, because I done lived it already. I done lived a life. So I know, you know what I'm saying? I know what's on the ride. And so he killed himself because he knew what was going to be said. And I'm thinking they had some, pretty decent evidence. And so he snuffed his own self out. But you took the coward's way. You were a coward when you was messing with these folks' children and sleeping with them and soliciting, these young girls. Young girls. You knew better. Like so many of you filthy pigs. You knew better. And then now you fast forward years later, you get an indictment for more trash that you have done. And then you snuff yourself out 1 month later after being arrested. I'm going to tell you something. And I'm going to say this, and listen at me good. For all you crazy ass haters out there that don't give a damn about women and girls, to say they want to be with this famous person, they went looking for it, they're groupies, you sound like a damn fool. Okay? We are all human and we are all of the flesh. And it don't matter about nobody being famous for anything or wealthy or whatever. We choose to do what we do. And we already know a lot of these famous men are misleading these women and girls because of who they are. They might tell them anything. I'm going to give you some money. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make you famous. I'm going to whatever. They don't give a damn about them. Because when you start seeing a pattern of a grown-ass man bedding and bedding and bedding children, girls, or boys too, and women, and not standing account, keeping a solid relationship, you know there's something wrong with them and that they are sick. So all this notion about groupies and, they wanted that they chased them and, get on with all that. Get on with all that. If that's a petty mindset to blame victims. And to me, it doesn't matter if a young girl went chasing in behind a 30-year-old man, a 22-year-old man, and she's 14 or 15. She's a kid. She is a kid. No different than if he was not famous. And he's out here lurking around high schools and gymnasiums looking for kids to sex. He wrong. Bottom damn line. So put the guilt where it lies, and that's on the adult. Stop blaming young girls. Stop blaming women. Okay? Because a lot of these men also bed grown women and not treating them so well. And yes, we know it's a choice once you're grown to take up with whomever, but that doesn't mean you sign up for someone to mistreat you or try to pass you along to their buddies or, solicit you in some old crazy nonsense. Hey, we all human and we all got feelings. And I'm just sick of hearing these nasty things said about young girls wanting it, chasing them, they're groupies. I'm sick of hearing that. I'm sick of hearing about the grown women, that they were groupies. So what? Maybe they are. Everybody act like they have never been young and was a fan of a movie star, a musician. And if you acting like you was never a fan of somebody famous, you a liar. Now maybe you wouldn't go to the extreme of trying to chase them down the street and get hit by a car or find out where they live and camp out on their doorstep. But nonetheless, you have been a fan of somebody's work. But I'm sick of these women and girls getting talked down about because I don't know all their stories. I don't know any of them personally. So I can't say who's a liar, who's not. But I can say that you have got some sick men out here chasing these girls, bedding them, and they know better. And you're a grown man and you have no business sleeping with children. And I don't care how she looked. I don't care if she told you, oh, she's 18. That's what you telling the public because you've been caught and you being investigated. But you knew she was not 18 and you have no business having relations of any kind, sexual nature, with a child. With the child. And it's just out of control. And the people who are going along with you, famous people, wealthy people, you booking these people, you watching and looking and lurking, and you driving and picking them up. Guess what, baby? You a party to the madness too, and you just as guilty because you know a child when you see one. And if you're thinking that they are under the age of 18, you need to be thinking, you know what? I really don't want to be a witness to this, even though it's not my business, what he or she's doing, whatever. But you got knowledge. You got knowledge. So you riding the ride too. And what's going to be the icing on the cake with these R. Kelly stories? When the district attorney decides to try people who are assistants, drivers, bodyguards, they try them too, to show you are benefiting from this person's pocketbook and you're a willing participant in their BS, in their misdeeds and deviant behavior, so you're going to take the charge too. Kind of like here in the state of Tennessee. You sit your butt out in a car while your friend or friends go and rob somebody and then they murder that person. Well, guess what? They can prove you sat in that car and waited on your friend. By golly, you taking the murder charge with them. You may not have even known they was going in there to rob somebody. Sure didn't think they was going to kill him, but guess what? You take the charge. In many states have those charges that if you sit in the car, ride in the car, you go down with your friend even if you didn't go in the establishment and pull the gun out. Doesn't matter. So guess what? All you grown-ass people riding around with these pedophiles and sadists and rapists or whatever, keep riding around with them. I hope your pockets are full. Because guess what, sweetheart? You going to need that money for that lawyer. You going to need it. Because it's time you all go down with them. That's all I got to say about that. Stay safe, America. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.